What's up, y'all? It's your girl Waseem, and I'm just coming on here to talk about a couple things before we get into the video. Excuse my background. I'm moving a couple things around for the podcast, but I did want to come on here and clarify some things. Number one, I want to clarify that when I'm going through the solicitation laws, I'm obviously talking about afterwards, after I stopped handing out the flyers, and I was just going around talking to people about my podcast. I am not talking about the flyers, even though I still kind of feel like my flyers, I'm still iffy on that, but if they feel as though it's solicitation or solicitation. As far as me going around and talking to my classmates, that does not fall under any of the solicitation laws. And I definitely did talk to the director of communications, who told me that it doesn't fall under solicitation laws as well. And they also told me that they didn't have no problems with me giving out the flyers as well. So I do want to say thank you to the director of communications for being not only so helpful and clarifying some of the information for me, but just so graceful, so sympathetic. They offered their apologies to me, and they were really trying to help me. And not only were they trying to help me, they were trying to support my podcast. So I really want to say thank you to him. And I also want to say thank you to the vice president of student affairs, because he as well was also trying to help me throughout the whole situation. So I am addressing certain admin in this video. I am addressing certain people in FAMU, but I do want to put a disclaimer out that this is not for the whole FAMU. Just because there are a lot of rotten apples in the bunch does not mean that everybody and all the admin here suck. They actually did help me. So yeah, I just wanted to put that disclaimer out there. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. And yeah, and just tell me how cute I look in the comments. Adios, y'all. Bye. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Waseem, and welcome to another episode of What's Up, Waseem? Yes. What's Up, Waseem is a podcast centered around growth, but not growth in the way that you would regularly think about it. Growth in yourself, growth in your friendships, relationships, spirituality. I really want this podcast to cultivate conversations. That's the main purpose. I feel like because of social media, my generation's kind of lost, and we don't really know how to communicate. We're so used to communicating on our phones. You go to a party, everybody's on their phones looking cute. Nobody's talking. You go to Set Friday, people aren't really talking. You even go on our campus, people aren't really talking. I feel like the communication aspect of our society has really fallen due to social media and hot take COVID, but that's another episode. So I really just want this podcast to focus on creating those conversations that help us grow, because we can't grow without hearing other people's perspectives. And I don't know about y'all, but I'd rather talk about the uncomfortable things now so I don't have to go through these uncomfortable things when I get older. So today's episode is a little bit different than regular because of something that happened earlier today. Some of you may know, some of you may not. So for the ones who don't know, I wrote up what happened to me earlier, and I'm just going to express some of that with you before we get into the other things that I wanted to discuss. Like I said, I did write it down, but that's just because I wanted to make sure that I organized my thoughts correctly, and I didn't, I wanted to stay professional as possible because this is regarding my school. So if you don't know, greetings. I am Aja Waseem, a third-year broadcast journalism scholar, hailing from the place where dreams come true, Orlando, Florida. Applaud. So today I printed out some flyers to get the word out about my podcast. My intention was to connect with other like-minded college students who had strong opinions and who wanted to grow or just wanted to engage in important conversations. So I was just going around to people. I was talking to them. I was asking them questions. I'm like, okay, like I would go to them, introduce myself, let them know what I'm doing. I have a podcast. If you have any interesting topics that you want to talk about, if you have any strong opinions, or even if you want to be on the podcast, or you have anybody that you want to suggest to be on the podcast, just let me know. And I would hand them flyers because if you don't know, it's What's Up Waseem. And a lot of time when I tell people my podcast name is What's Up Waseem, they spell it wrong. They spell it with like a WHATS, spell it Waseem wrong. So the flyer was just a way so that I could show people what I'm doing and that they could easily find it if they were interested. So that was the idea behind it. My intention was to connect to other like-minded college students who had strong opinions and wanted to grow or just wanted to engage in important conversations. When I was handing out the flyers, I was approached by an administrator who told me that I couldn't hand out flyers without first contacting the Office of Communications for approval. I thought that was weird because I've seen many people give out flyers before. which if you go to FAM, you will literally go to your car and it would be 10 flyers on top of your car from some BS party. Or if you're walking around, a lot of girls will promote their hair business, lash business. There's flyers all the time. People slide them underneath the village doors or dorm doors to promote their business, to just try to put themselves out there. So that's where I got the idea from, and I thought that's what I was trying to do. But nonetheless, I complied because if that's the rules, then that's the rules. I'm not going to argue with anybody about that. Seemed like something that would be a rule. So I complied because I didn't know if it was a rule or not. I didn't know if I was actually in violation of anything. I just complied because I didn't want any issues. So I decided to go and just continue talking to people and just telling them what I'm doing, just introducing myself and talking to them again, asking them questions and engaging in, important conversations. So that same administrative then told me that I couldn't do that either, which I thought was insane because essentially what she was telling me was that I couldn't talk to I couldn't just walk up and talk to students, which I was just like, what are we talking about here? There's no way that it says that in the protocol that you cannot talk to people about the stuff that you're trying to do. All I'm trying to do is create conversations and make connections with people. Because what I'm doing may help them and what they're doing may help me. There's so many successful Black students that attend this school, and I'm the type of person, I'm so communicative. Like, if you guys know me, I will literally go and walk up to random people and talk to them. Like, y'all literally, like, the people who know me. I would literally go up to random people and have long behind conversations with them because that's just naturally how I am. So I thought that was weird. Let me go back to this so I can keep reading this off. So yes, I thought that was weird, and I asked her where in the protocol that it says that I, as a student, can't talk to other students about the things that I'm trying to do. So she could not tell me what was against the rules. She couldn't tell me what I was doing that was against the rules. They kept trying to tell me to go call the communications office, which I was not going to do, because if you guys are the ones telling me that these are the rules, then you should be able to tell me what exactly I'm breaking. So she then called the director of the auxiliary services, and she gave me the phone. So when we was on the phone, I recorded this, like the last half of it. She gave me the phone, and I asked them what was wrong with me communicating with other students about what I'm trying to do, especially because I wasn't only promoting the podcast. I was asking people about the stuff that they are passionate about, things that interested them, or topics or ideas that they would be interested in. He then told me that he was going to get a resource officer involved because he could not tell me what I was doing wrong, and he kept trying to tell me that I could not communicate with other students, which I knew was BS. So I went to go get my food and eat, and she then walks in with the director and finds me sitting down. I'm sitting down talking to, shout out to Honcho. I was sitting down with Honcho. And they're literally looking all around the cafeteria trying to find me. Like, it was hilarious. So they finally found me, and they was like, when you're done, you need to go talk to him. So I finished my food and I went to go talk to him. So as soon as I went to go talk to him, the first I introduced myself, and I didn't even introduce myself. I was just like, hey, how are you doing today? Doing the normal greetings. And I was like, you're the person I'm supposed to talk to. And he was like, you don't have to talk to me. You have to talk to a public resource officer. Which surprised me because I was just told that I had to talk to him. Now I have to go talk to police. Like, make it make sense. After asking him for clarification about what rule I was breaking, he could not provide me with an answer. Again, I kept saying, okay, cool. Like, if you guys don't want me to, I already said I won't hand out the flyers no more. If that's like solicitation, if you guys feel as though it's solicitation, I'm not going to hand out the flyers anymore. But what's wrong with me going around and talking to my fellow classmates about things that I'm passionate about? There's no rule that says I cannot do that. And again, he could not point out to me what rule I was breaking. And I told him, I said, if you're going to enforce a rule, you should be able to go back and tell me exactly where I can find that rule, or you should be able to regurgitate that rule to me. You can't enforce a rule that you don't know. If I'm asking you what I'm doing wrong, you should be able to tell me what I'm doing wrong without getting the police involved. So I thought that was insane. He then when he told me that the police officer wasn't going to remove me, but when the police officer came, he was going to tell me to leave. And if I didn't leave, they was going to write a letter to the dean. I'm assuming that meant getting me suspended or some type of academic problems. So when the police arrived, the director walked away, which led me to go talk to him because I knew, this didn't go the way that you wanted. Because obviously, if it was going the way you wanted, both of you guys would have came over to me and told me to leave. But the director walked away. And then when I went to the police, officer and talked to him, he basically told me that I wasn't doing anything wrong. I wasn't violating any rules, any laws. I wasn't doing nothing that was against the student code of conduct. He literally told me I wasn't doing anything wrong. And I just bursted out into tears because I was so overwhelmed with just the whole situation. This whole situation was going on for like an hour. It was super embarrassing to me because all I wanted to do was just communicate with people. That's literally what I love to do. I love to communicate with people. All I wanted to do was get ideas from my fellow classmates. I wanted to engage in meaningful conversations. I had such a high hopes for how my day was going to go today, and I was essentially embarrassed and harassed in front of everybody. I bursted out into tears because I was just so grateful for the officer who had my back. It really made me emotional. So yeah, and I was just, I think it was like a relief. Like I was holding all that in because I had to be strong when I was defending myself. I had to be strong when I was going against both those administrators who were trying to harass me. I couldn't cry. I had to stand firm in what I knew. So it was just like, I can finally let it out. And I was crying so bad. And he was telling me I didn't have to leave. I didn't have to stop what I was doing. But at this point, I just decided like I might as well leave because I'm crying. And I can't communicate with people and I'm crying and I'm drained. That's not a way I would want to present myself. And that's not the way I would want somebody to come up to me and they're teary-eyed and they're drained. I like to come up to people with positive energy, smiling, complimenting them, and, just being warm. So I decided to leave. Sorry, guys. Let me go finish reading this. Like I said, by then I was so flustered and began to cry due to embarrassment I felt the whole situation. I then took to Instagram as my call to action. So I did post on Instagram. I posted what happened. I posted video proof. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who supported me. It really meant the world to me to see people from all over, not even just FAMU, rally behind me and rally behind the freedom of speech that I was denied. It really just felt good to me to feel that FAMU the real FAMU that I was supposed to get from, that I should be getting from administration. But the students, and even like I will say there was a teacher who was a witness to everything, and they were just trying to tell me not to argue with the police, but they told me that I can come to their room and talk to them as well, which was so heartwarming. They knew that what I was doing wasn't wrong. They just didn't want me to get in any type of trouble. They were trying to help me, and I really appreciated that professor really greatly. So yeah. So I'm going to read to you guys what FAMU's response was to this, because so many people were tagging FAMU and they did respond to me. They sent me an email, and I'm going to put this here so that you guys can read it with me. Here we go. And they DM'd me back. I didn't DM them. They DM'd me. And they said, "Thank you for sharing your concerns. We are aware of your experience today. In the future, please be sure to contact or visit our office to get all promotional items approved and stamped." When I read this, I was just thinking, the audacity. But let's just say I was solicited with the flyers. When I was talking to people, there's no way that you can say that I could not communicate with people. So the fact that they didn't apologize for the harassment after I stopped handing out the flyers is insane to me. I would have expected for FAMU to reach out to me and say, "I'm sorry that you had to experience that." I would have expected FAMU to reach out to me and say, "We're looking into this." They didn't say none of that. They basically just said, yeah, next time go to communications, with a stank attitude like family administration always does. But again, we're going to get into that later. And I just felt that was so insane for this to be the college of love and charity. The fact that you didn't show me no remorse, you didn't show me no sympathy with your response is sickening. But yeah, so let's go back to what I was reading. This, like I said, this broke my heart, because I expected some sympathy for the way the situation was handled, especially after I stopped handing out flyers because I wasn't breaking any rules. This led me to going and researching the solicitation protocols and finding out exactly what I did wrong. So I know a lot of people are confused because, one, I kept seeing people say, "Oh, well, in campaign season, you have to get protocol, because that's a FAMU thing. You're running for election in a FAMU system. You're going to run for something that represents FAMU. And you're not only are you representing FAMU, you're working for FAMU, whether that's the Senate or the president or whatever. So obviously you would have to get protocol because you're getting votes for people." Again, this is not something for FAMU. This is not anything. I'm not working a job. I'm not providing a service. Again, I'm just promoting the community that I'm trying to build with What's Up, Waseem. But let's go ahead and get into the solicitation protocols. I will put them on the screen for those of you guys who are watching. If you're listening, I'm going to read them out to you guys. So like I said, if you guys are watching, go ahead and follow along with me. So the definition, this is in the commercial solicitation thing. And let's go to section 3 and 3B. It says solicitation is defined to be any act or event conducted for the purpose of financial or commercial gain to the vendor, individuals, or organizations. So we can stop right there. We're going to go read the bylaws because I've seen people on Fizz like, yo, not reading the bylaws. Because, anonymous people always feel like they're smarter than people. But in reality, you're not that smart if you have to run your mouth behind an anonymous app. And that goes for all the people who run their mouth behind Fizz. But anyways, if we're just going off of just straight Section 3B, I wasn't breaking any rules because my podcast is not something that I get any commercial gain off of. I don't make no money off of YouTube. I don't make no money off of Apple Podcasts. I don't make money off of Spotify podcasts. I make no money off of this. I do it because I love to communicate. I truly love to do this. This has been a dream of mine since I was a little girl. So just by that rule, again, I'm not breaking any rules. But let's go to the bylaws for the people in Fizz. You're not reading the bylaws. People get words like, they hear like uppity words and they just like repeat them to like make themselves feel powerful. So let's read the bylaws. It says the sale, not doing that. Lease, not doing that. Rental, not doing that. Or offer of a sale, lease, or rental, or distribution of any property, product, merchandise, publication, or service, whether for immediate or future delivery. Last time I checked, my social media is not a property, it's not a product, it's not a merchandise, it's not a publication, or it's not a service for immediate delivery. It's just social media. If that's the case, every boy who comes and talks to me and tries to run down on me, I can go and tell them that they're soliciting me, okay? Every person that comes up to me and we're talking, I'm like, hey girl, what's your Instagram? I can say that's solicitation. It's simply just social media. All I was doing was telling people, hey, if you're interested, follow me on Instagram. So again, it's not the sale, it's not the lease or the rental or the offer of a sale, lease, or rental or distribution of any property, product, merchandise, publication, or service. My podcast is simply just information. It's simply just social media. That does not fall under a service because I'm not providing nothing for you guys that you guys give me nothing for. It's not a publication. It's simply just social media. It's just like if I tell you guys to go watch a movie, if I tell you guys to go, this is my favorite show, it just happens to be something that I do. Next, it says the distribution or display of printed material, merchandise, or products that are designed to publicize, advertise, or encourage the purchase, use, or rental of property, product, merchandise, publication, or service. Last time I checked, you guys let me know. Again, you can't purchase, use, or rent my podcast. You can't use it for anything. All you can do is listen to it. All you can do is watch it. You can't use it. It's not something that you can grasp and use. It's not something that you can do. It's none of that. It's just something that you can watch. It's something that you can listen to. And again, it's a community that I'm trying to create. Like I said, when I do the podcast, I talk to so many different people. I literally post on my Instagram that like, hey, do you guys have any opinions and stuff like that? Because I want those voices that are not normally heard to be heard. Especially at FAMU, a lot of the times you see the same people doing the same things, or you see the same people doing all these different things. You see the same people getting all these opportunities. And I really want to use this podcast to amplify the voices of the people who aren't the popular people, the people who experience life and have real life stories to tell. So again, just by definition, I'm not selling, leasing, renting, or offering the sale of anything. I'm not offering a purchase. I'm not offering no products to nobody. I'm not encouraging the use or the purchase, use, or rental of any property, product, merchandise, publication, or service. That my podcast doesn't fall under none of that. It's simply just information. That's my podcast. It's simply just me talking. It's me talking and people listening and maybe sometimes getting a couple laughs, maybe learning something. My podcast is simply information. And again, it's not anything that I don't get no monetization for it. So technically I could have sent it on my flyers. All my flyers is just my Instagram. It's not like a business, like it's technically a business page, but it's not a business page. It's just an Instagram where you can see videos of the stuff I do. Again, I don't make no money off of this. I make absolutely zero money off of everything I post. So what are we talking about here? I'm not encouraging the purchase of anything. All I'm doing is trying to create conversation. I'm trying to reach out and create a community because FAMU is so separated. We don't have conversation with each other. Like I said, y'all go out to the quad. Nobody's out there talking. Even when it's cold now, so people dang sure not talking. But even when it was hot, people not outside talking to each other. Everybody's clicked up. Nobody's really talking about the things that really matters. Nobody's really talking about the things that are really affecting us. Even outside of fam, nobody's seriously talking about the things that are affecting us in the Black community. Nobody's talking about the things that are affecting us in Tallahassee. Nobody's talking about the things that are affecting us in our hometowns. And that's what I want to use this podcast to do. So I'm just appalled that FAMU tried to stop that. And number one, if they did not know, let's say they thought that my podcast was something that I'm getting money off of. They did not stop once to ask me about it. They could have asked me, but they did not know the rules enough to be able to ask me. They just assumed that I was doing something wrong, did not communicate with me at all. And I'm appalled by this. And not only am I appalled by this, I'm appalled by FAMU _1887 for contacting me, not apologizing, not trying to investigate it. No, all you did was try to tell me you should have went to communications. When in reality, by y'all laws, I actually don't have to do none of that because under y'all definition, I'm not soliciting anybody because this is not a product. This is not a service. This is not a publication. This is just me talking. This is the way I can talk to people because social media is the only way I can get people to listen to me. Social media is the only way I can get people to finally click in and be like, dang, that's what's happening in our community. Dang, that's what's really going on. I'm trying to help y'all out. I literally just did a video about Willie Simmons leaving FAMU, and I was talking about how HBCU, we need to stick together. At this point, I'm finna leave with Willie. At this point, Willie, you made the right decision. You made the best decision because there's so many things that are going on underlying at FAMU that are problems. And that's why today, thank you, FAMU, we're going to talk about it. So yeah, let's talk about it. I took to Instagram to ask my fellow HBCU people about some of the problems that they faced on FAMU campus. I do want to talk about a specific story, though, from some of the athletes that I talked to. I'm not going to say their names just to protect them, but let's FAMU, instead of worrying about me trying to tell people to have communication problems, why don't y'all worry about y'all athletes not getting their scholarships on time and not being able to afford their rent because y'all not giving them their money? Because after I posted that video about Willie Simmons, I decided to do my own research. I decided to get in and talk to people. What happened to all that money that we're supposed to have, that we quote unquote raised for Willie Simmons, when we have assistant coaches who aren't getting enough money, who are missing thousands of dollars? We have athletes who literally say that they had to hound down financial aid, had to hound down all these different institutions to get the money. But we see a lot of y'all professors that are on tenure riding around in Benzes. Larry got 2 houses and a fat paycheck. So, you know what? Maybe my problem, I shouldn't have addressed the coaches. Maybe it's time for the people in these high positions to make sacrifices if this is the family that you love so much. If we don't have enough money for the state, how about a person who's getting well over 6 figures take a little bit out to put a little money into the football thing so that we can get more players to want to come here? Take a pay cut so that you can help some of these athletes be able to pay the rent. These athletes that are having people buy stick tickets, these athletes that are winning championships, but they can't get their money to pay their rent. Shabu. Let's talk about how I asked one of the professors here, and I asked them, what do you think the main problem is? And they said they got too many people in higher places getting too much money and not enough people like advisors or financial aid people getting money. Let's talk about that. Since people want to come at me talking about we need to go by protocol and stuff, let's talk about that. But anyways, let's get into it. Let's read some of the problems that people are facing. Funding going to the wrong places. Just talked about it. Yep, y'all worried about me, worried about them funds. Lack of accountability from adult staff, professors, and some of my peers. No shade. 110%. Just the way that none of the people, I didn't get an apology from that man after the police told him that I wasn't doing nothing wrong. And I didn't get an apology from that lady. I literally was crying in front of the police and she's swiping people in with her bad raggedy wig, not saying, baby, I'm sorry. She seen I was distraught. She wasn't trying to be nice to me. She knew she was dead wrong. And yet she still didn't take accountability. And y'all didn't take accountability because y'all seen my post, y'all seen the outrage, and you decided to tell me that I had to go get permission when I didn't, because those are y'all laws. I wasn't soliciting nobody. All I was doing was creating awareness. And honestly, you guys should be happy that I'm doing that, because every chance I get, I sit here and talk about my HBCU. Every chance I get, I try to promote HBCU stuff. Every chance I get, I try to defend black stuff. But you know what you guys just did? Spit in my face. Spit in my face. And all I do is try to defend y'all. Chabu. Anyways, let's keep going. Absence of academic advisors. Hello, we're in J School, one academic advisor. Yet we got all these people who are in these high positions getting all of this money, but y'all saying the academic advisors are getting strung out. That's why they're quitting and going to FSU, because they don't have enough money. And yes, we can blame the state funds. Yes, we can blame all this other stuff. We can blame that because we are getting underfunded. We are having these issues. But at the end of the day, there are problems going in our HBCU. There's all this money that is getting funded or getting sent to us, and where is it going? Two things can be true at once. Yes, we are underfunded, and yes, we are mismanaging our money. Yes, we are underfunded, and yes, there are some shady things going on. Yes, we are underfunded, and yes, FAMU don't be handling their business. It's two separate issues, and both of them are the same. And I never once said when saying one, I'm not saying one is greater than the other. I'm saying they're both issues. And at the end of the day, now I'm at a point where I got to address my HBCU first. We got to get it together first. All right, let's get into it. Admission, cool. Yep. Professors lack a sense of urgency. That's another thing. Y'all don't do nothing for us. I literally have a professor now who told us to get a book. The book was the wrong book. He's not telling us how to do he's telling us to do all this extra stuff. And people have reached out to hire up people. They don't do nothing. I had a professor once who was so terrible, so mean, so nasty, so rude. And we would communicate. What did you guys do? Nothing. You guys don't care about y'all students for real. Anyways. Not meeting genuine people, not scared to be real because of Greek aspirations. Hello. People in Fizz getting mad at me for trying to go around and promote this podcast. At least I'm not sitting here in y'all face trying to tell y'all to do trying to get y'all to vote for me so that I can go get a position so that I can go Greek. I'm not sitting around in y'all face being fake to y'all and trying to smile in y'all face and be happy now and then literally never talk to you guys again because I'm trying to get a position. I'm trying to get this so I can go Greek. I generally talk to people, and everybody can attest to that. I talk to anybody. I have conversations with anybody. If you met me in real life, I would literally talk to a stranger all day. I'm sweet. I'm nice. I don't do that to, I'm caring. I don't do that to nobody, and I'm not doing it because I want to go Greek. Because I'm not trying to go Greek. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with going Greek. I'm not talking about the people who do these things, try to go Greek, because it's all part of the system. But dang, y'all sitting here getting mad at me, and I'm just trying to be regular, schmegler, normal. Maybe I should be fake and phony to y'all, and maybe I'll get all that support. Because y'all steady complain about all these people who go Greek, but y'all be the main ones in their comments. Y'all steady complain about all these people who go Greek, but y'all be the main ones doing all this stuff for them. I'm not hearing that. I'm not hearing it. This somebody said they're nervous about the power that the people hold. That these administrators hold. They don't even feel comfortable reaching out for help after an awful encounter. What are you doing, FAMU? Are you sending people out to ask the students about how they feel about certain situations? Are you sending out surveys to ask the students how they feel about admissions, how they feel about financial aid, how they feel about the police officers, how they feel about the teachers? You're not asking us how we feel. You guys aren't trying to get better, but I am. But y'all want to quiet me down. I'm asking people how they feel. I'm asking people about what we can change. I'm trying to create those conversations so that family can get better. But y'all want to get mad at me, though. So here's a story about somebody. They said my scores were too low and simply denied me, even though my scores exceeded what they wanted. Not to mention they confused me with 3 other Trinity Robinsons. They confused me with them to the point I logged into my application portal and read a whole social security number that wasn't even mine. Not to mention they would never answer the phone for help at all. They completely ignored me and were helpless. It was crazy because FAMU was my dream school. Let's talk about it. Why does financial aid have the phones unplugged? And if we don't have enough money to hire enough financial aid people, instead of raising all this money for Willie Simmons to stay, why don't we raise enough money to get a budget so that we can have more financial advisors? Why don't we raise enough money so that we could have more people to be academic advisors? Why aren't we raising enough money for that? Because that's what we really need. Because the football team only makes up 2%? There's only 100 dudes? Where we have thousands of students who complain about the same thing over and over again, but y'all don't care because y'all sitting on that pretty check that y'all get? Y'all still getting paid enough, and y'all still got the alumni who are gonna support because we are black and we gotta support everything black and we gotta be all black power. But y'all are shitting on us. Y'all are shitting on the people who are actually here. Y'all are shitting on people who want to be here. We don't have no type of communication. We can't go to nobody and get nothing fixed. I remember when I switched my major to J school, they lost my paperwork. So I didn't have no classes for the first couple weeks of school. And I had to go to a pop-up shop. The pop-up shop was dumb long. The line was unorganized. People didn't know what line to get in for certain majors because it wasn't talked about. Everybody was just in a big clump. And I was the one, if y'all remember me from that thing, I was literally telling people what lines to get into. I was helping everybody because that's just how I am. Anyways, financial aid taking too long, professors not doing their job to the fullest, and poor parking. Hello, we raising all this money, $500,000 for Willie Simmons. We can't raise enough for some new parking? Professors not doing their job, and then when you go talk to the people above them, they don't really care. They don't care because they don't care about us. Administration having a badass attitude for no reason. Hello, a lot of those administrators have a bad attitude. Look at today, they feel entitled. Wow. Somebody said, when I reported being sexually assaulted, and they dragged their feet with the whole case. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. I'm literally getting teary-eyed. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. FAMU, are you asking your body of students about the experiences that they're having? Are you even aware of this? The people in the right positions, are you even aware of this? No, because it doesn't affect you. This is sick. And these are the stories of people whose stories don't get told. These are the people whose stories don't get told. These are the people who don't get to have a voice, who don't talk. And that's why I'm going to get on this mic and I'm going to talk my stuff every time. They said RAs abusing their power and talking to students with little to no respect. That's just because people get here and think they bigger than everybody else. They think they big and bad because there was lame and losers in high school. They come here and try to reinvent themselves, and then they're just insecure, and it shows by being rude and abusing their power. They suck. People here are lame. Most of the popular, I'm not going to get into that. That's unacceptable. A lot of those people who are abusing their power and they're being lame, they're insecure. They hate themselves. That's why they're not able to be communicative. That's why they're not able to be nice and warming and understanding, because they really hate themselves. Always remember this. How somebody treats you is a reflection of how they feel about themselves. Every time. Here we go. Housing. I had to leave because I didn't get housed and they waited last minute to tell me. Why aren't we raising money to get more money in housing? Why are you worried about me? Why are you worried about me passing out flyers? You need to be worried about the students who don't have no housing. You need to be worried about the students who don't have enough money to pay their tuition. Anyways, being so late with everything financial aid related. I was in foster care and I can't do this shit without my aid. Had to give up my goal of an HBCU grad because of how careless they are with financial aid. Now I'm at a PWI. Y'all running us away. Like I said, I can't even fault Willie. I've been saying that in my last video, but now I dang sure can't fault Willie because I'm finna follow him at this point. Because I'm so disappointed with FAMU. Not only am I disappointed with how they handled the situation today, I'm disappointed with the aftermath as well, because I expected a little bit of sympathy, especially because I'm a young black woman who is so passionate about my HBCU. I'm a young black woman who's so passionate about opening them conversations, to help us, to try to figure ourselves out. But now y'all done made me mad. Let me press the air horn. Now y'all done made me mad. Child. Anyways, I'm finna wrap this up, y'all. I guess I had to go on my little rant. I hope you enjoyed. Okay, so anyways, I said, what I was doing didn't fall under none of this. This is in regards to the protocol about soliciting. I'm not advertising the use of any product. I am just trying to encourage communication for young intellects like myself. I don't make any monetary gain off my podcast. My podcast just aims to open up conversations that further growth in my generation. I can't have conversations with people if I can't converse with them. I am not providing a service because there's nothing physical being exchanged between me and the people who listen to my podcast. I was simply providing information to my fellow classmates, which does not fall under any solicitation rules. I'm completely disgusted with the way I was handled with such lack of care during and after the situation. In fact, the only person who provided me with any comfort was the officer. I would like to invite any FAMU administrator or even Larry, even though I know he's not going to come because Larry's too busy sitting up in his 2 mansions with his nice house. I would like to invite a FAMU administrator or Larry to discuss how we can better admin, and student relationships, how we can get into better organization of FAMU, and how to be transparent with the problems that we have so that maybe us as students can try to figure it out. If it is a money issue with the state, maybe you should use our great minds that we have at FAMU to try to figure out how we can fix it. Instead of just sitting here giving us the runaround, because we just gonna come at y'all at the end of the day if we don't know what's going on. How can we better the organization of FAMU and ensure that no student has to go through harassment or embarrassment that I felt today? For this to be the college of love and charity, I felt neither today. And I would have thought an HBCU would do better by its young students trying to make an impact in our community. And that's all I gotta say. Waseem out.